Ida Nilsson, welcome to the Single Track Podcast.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to join.
It's great to meet as well, and let's get right into it. From what I understand, you are often in Flagstaff. You may even be there right now, but I'm curious, where have you been for the majority of this training block for Black Canyon, and what does it look like?
Yes, I just arrived to Flagstaff a few days ago, and yes, I went to NIU and studied here a long time ago, like between 2001 to 5, and then I have been back sometimes to train, and I think, a lot of years I wasn't back, like for 13 years, and then I started to come back again, and now last time was 4 years ago, so it was like before COVID and everything. So it's really nice to be here again and see the place.
You wrote about in a recent Instagram post going to the limits in training blocks like this one for Black Canyon, and I'm curious if you can talk more about that in detail. Like, what have you challenged yourself with in this training block?
Yes, like I have done it in Norway, and it's skiing in the winter, so mostly skiing a lot of hours, and of course I needed to try to get some running in because it's still 100K. So what I have done is like some treadmill runs and some road runs if it's been clear some days, but not very much running. But I tried to do some runs after like a long ski before to get a little bit of that fatigue in the legs to have a feeling, even though it was just maybe like an hour run after skiing, but to get that tiredness, because I haven't really done any long runs, because I don't think that to do that on the pavement or treadmill, it wouldn't be very good either. So that's what I have done, and then some shorter workouts on treadmill and things like that, but mainly training hours on skiing.
Do you feel like it has benefited you to have these different stresses and stimuluses in the training block, like having a fair bit of skiing in addition to running, maybe even some time on the bike? Can you talk about that?
Yes, like usually in the winter I ski a lot and I don't run very much since I started with trail running, and it's like trying to qualify for Western State have been like a goal for several years, but I've always been something in the winter time when you have to do a qualifying race, because for me it's really difficult to be fit for such a long race in the winter.
Yeah.
And this year it's like I'm not running fit now, but I had good training, so hopefully I can make it through. But it is difficult like that. You have to go away during winter time from Norway to try to find a qualifying race, and so this year at least I'm going to give it a shot, and hopefully I can make it.
I feel like for a lot of runners, especially this time of year, the winter months, it can be harder to find motivation, and you are relying more on discipline to get the work done, to get fit, to be prepared for the race. Is that something that you have dealt with at all in this training block?
Yeah, maybe like I have a big motivation for skiing, because that's very fun in the wintertime, and it's easy to do a lot of training hours. And then of course it's not super fun to run on the treadmill or the road, so but it's not so many hours either. Like maybe I had run like 4 or 5 hours a week and rest have been skiing, so it's not a lot either, and usually it's in the evening when it's dark anyway. It's like a second workout, so that is fine. It's not enough running to get bored of. It had actually been like nice when I have been running.
Do you have any history in your career, and I apologize for not having the numbers in front of me, but do you have any history in your career of preparing for a race like Black Canyon in January or February or March, or is this a first time thing for you?
Yeah, like this early but I had prepared with like mostly skiing before. For example, before Transvulcania, it's like early May. It's the same like that. You have a long winter with skiing and then just a little bit running. So I have done this kind of mixed training before with not like a lot of running, but hopefully like enough, because you of course you have the heart fitness from skiing, but it's that usually it's like the day after you can really feel that you were not prepared for running that far, but then you're done with the race anyway, so then you have to take that consequence that you can't walk for some days. But so I tried a little bit, but I never run like really this in the middle of the winter.
You mentioned earlier that the goal at this race is to try to qualify for Western States, that it's been a long time goal for you. Why did you choose Black Canyon over a race like Bandera or Tarawera or any of these other golden ticket races throughout the year? What drew you to Black Canyon?
One thing I thought it was a nice thing that is close to Flagstaff, and it's like a place I've been driving through a lot of times, but I haven't really run on the Black Canyon trails and that course. And also it fitted nice in time, because otherwise, like, of course, the canyons have been a little bit later, but I also thought that is a last chance, and it's quite close to Western State. And if something happens right then, you have not another chance. So then Black Canyon was best in time. Like the other races are really early. So that was my option. And also Tarawera, of course, it's nice, New Zealand, but it's even longer travel and thing to do. So I think this was a little bit easier race to get to.
And how are you feeling? We're roughly 8 or 9 days away from the race. How are you feeling right now in terms of fitness and confidence and all that?
Actually today I feel much better than the days before, because I had some hip pain or like groin pain the last 2 weeks. So first I was like, maybe I'm just a little bit sore, and tried to run, and I rested some days and we were just skiing, and I still felt something. And then of course I was worried, because I was going here and knew it's more difficult to figure things out. So I did an MRI right the day before I was flying over here. So then the first 4 days here, I haven't really been running, but just doing others. I was hiking in Grand Canyon. I've been skiing a little bit. I was biking when Mimi was running, because I wanted to be sure, because if there was a tendency to be like a bone stress injury, it's like, I know, like just 1 or 2 times running can make it really, really bad if it's just the start of something. So, but then I got this news this morning, actually, that it looks fine, everything. So it's probably just muscle or tendon, something that you can actually work with and hopefully get healthy. And I have another 1.5 weeks to the race now, so I will try to get it totally well until then.
Awesome. So if you secure a golden ticket at the Black Canyon 100K, do I understand it correctly that Western States would become the focus race, the A race for your 2023 season?
Yes.
Cool. Well, awesome. Ida, we're really excited to watch your race next weekend. Excited that you're feeling healthy at this point and that you found ways through the winter months to train and be ready. We'll make sure to link to all of your social media in the show notes. Is there anything that you want to leave the listeners with before we go? Any final thoughts?
No, I don't think so. Thank you for having me here.